Welcome to the Let Theta Healing Inspire You series, where I interview a different Theta Healer instructor every other month. Today, Maria Gold from episode 1 will be interviewing me.
Hi, Cornelia. Let me
Hello.
introduce Cornelia Thomi. She is a master theta healer, a forester, a teacher who hosts experiences that allow clients to deepen their connection with Mother Earth and nature and their inner child through the creator of all that is. Cornelia grew up on a grain farm and then easily made the transition over to a career in forestry. She worked in all aspects from silviculture to planning to operational logging into safety and supervision, and she also did program management. At this time, Cornelia started to pursue her interest of Reiki and Theta healing. Cornelia spent a few years redefining herself through the belief work of Theta healing, but now is ready to stand in her full authenticity, which I love about Cornelia. Cornelia's vision is to create programs and courses that help support families to spend time in nature and the forest with her for learning and healing opportunities. Help me welcome Cornelia. Yay! So Cornelia, just thanks for your bio. This is great, but I have a curious question. What took you from forestry into healing, into Reiki, and then therefore Theta healing? How did
Hmm.
that happen?
Now I see it, but back then I did not see it. There was a time in my life when I felt that forestry was all I would like. I love forestry and I still do. I love forestry. There's still a part of me that's, oh, I just want to go wander around in the woods and, say hello to the trees and move this and move that ribbon and, that kind of thing. But then there's a part of me that knows that there's more, that I'm going to be doing more in forestry, and especially when, say, the trees started talking to me, then it was like, what is going on here?
Hmm. That's
Um,
cool.
so what kind of happened was I was in forestry, in a timber like development layout type job, supervisor, I should say, running two operations, the field operations of Fort St. John and Mackenzie, going back and forth like a yo-yo. I thought, hey, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do this. And yeah, I don't know if I was ready, but probably was ready for the next step. But maybe this wasn't the next step. And we ended up having an episode where we misplaced a person in the forest, or better yet, he misplaced himself in the forest, and he was inexperienced. And
Mhm.
it was December 2017, I want to say, and it was our fault, or it was like nobody's fault really, but it was like misinformation. We should have given him a better map. We should have given him extra batteries. He didn't know that he needed extra batteries when it was cold out. He didn't know that his radio needed to be fully charged. He didn't know a lot of things. But the other thing was, is I asked him to stay where he was and I'd come get him. And he's like, oh no, I can find my way out. And then he missed the snowshoe tracks that were very evident. He walked right past them. And then we didn't know where he was. His radio was almost dead. His GPS was dead. It was not a good situation. And I
Mhm.
was in the bush at that point, like panicking at like, after work, 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, trying to find
Mhm.
this guy who we didn't know where he was. He, at one point, yeah, had his mic on and he said, call search and rescue, call search and rescue, or like, get a helicopter. And then I was like, stop it now, sit down, drink some water, eat some food, and settle down. You will find you. And then afterwards, like, we ended up, eventually he took his snowshoes off and he put his ear to the ground, and there was a coal mining truck going up and down the road, or going to
Mhm.
the road to the mine and back, because it was a mining road. And he heard
Mhm.
he heard the sound of the truck. And then he put his
Okay.
snowshoes on. He was on the wrong side of the hill and went across the hill and he saw the road. Then he walked straight down to the road. But it was like 8 o'clock at night. And by 8 o'clock at
Mm,
night, I was like with my InReach, because that's the only flashlight I had, um,
mhm,
going, we need to call search and rescue like soon
mhm,
or whatever. Like this is silly. And then
mhm,
my radio died, but I found out that he was fine. And I was like,
mhm.
the coal truck person was like, there's a guy down here waving his hands. Is this your missing person?
Oh, wow. I'm glad he was found.
hmm
Holy.
And then another person came to find me, and it was like a big bear hug in the forest. I was so relieved. I was like, "Yay! I found!" And he's like, "You, we found you!" And it was amazing. We got back down and took the day off the next day. And then that person told me, he's like, as soon as you told me to settle down, he's just like, I just stopped panicking and I just started thinking properly again. And that was
Yeah.
like a slap across his face, but really it wasn't a slap. After that episode, we had big a day where we had meetings and we did like we did like what went right, what went wrong, what could have done better kind of thing.
Right.
We went through
Mhm.
all of that. And after that, my boss came through, but he was more concerned about the check-in person in Prince George because she was really like concerned, and he just like, I need to get to Prince George and talk to her. She's like freaking out. Okay. So then we just kind of did our thing. Anywho, it wasn't properly addressed, basically. I didn't
Mhm.
know how to properly address it, but I got PTSD after that.
Oh,
So
wow.
I got to like anytime someone didn't answer their radio, I panicked, I freaked out. I was like, I
Mhm.
couldn't. Yeah, I became a nervous wreck. Let's just say
Yeah.
I was very depressed and like felt like there was like nothing I could do to improve this situation. There's nothing I could
Mhm.
do to improve the company. That there's no support. The only person that could support me on this search was the guy from Smithers. There was nobody on my own team that could support me. And I felt like, what am I doing here? I like couldn't get up in the morning. I was like staying at that time we were staying at a campground in a trailer because there was no
Mhm.
hotels in Chetwynd.
Okay.
In the middle of winter of all places. And I just like some people took days off or not take they maybe they went to the field and I was like, oh, I have office work, but then I couldn't get up and I just laid in bed or I went to like Chetwynd Library sometimes and did work. But and then I just told the boss, I was at one point I was
Mhm.
like, we just can't keep these people here. It's too taxing on us because we show up in the bush and they nobody wants to work. Everybody's scared about the wind or this and that and everything else. And then I'm just like spinning my wheels on this project and we got to get it done. And
Mhm.
no one's helping. And I kept
Mhm.
asking for help and asking for help and asking for help. And then help came like the 2 weeks before the project was due. Prince George showed up and did all the work. And then they left. And then I was like,
Mhm.
well, I would have really liked appreciated your help sooner. And then we paused on the project. And then, and then in May, I like was like there was a lot of relief. Like it in like when we paused, there was a lot of relief. Then in May, we went back. I went back to the area to check it out. We went to
Mhm.
Chetwynd. Was in that area. Went to Chetwynd, picked up a ice cap, and then drove on the whatever road that was anymore. I don't remember offhand. And started like my heart started closing in on itself. I went into tunnel vision and I was like, oh my
Mhm.
God, I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah.
I'm
Panic
so
attack
young to have
does
a heart
feel like
attack.
that.
But I was also like had just contacted someone about an interview and I was like really ramped up about work and how am I going to get through this whole another season of this bullshit again and then I called my boss and I said I think I'm having a heart attack. He's like you probably should call 911 if you think it's that serious and I did. I felt really bad about calling 911 and they came with an ambulance and they grabbed me and my coworkers came to pick up the truck because I wasn't going anywhere with that truck anymore and they brought me to
Mhm.
Dawson Creek to the hospital and checked me out. I was there for a while. They asked me if I took any aspirin. Nope. And it was a panic attack. I've never experienced a panic attack before, like ever. So
They're scary.
it
They
was
are
very
scary.
scary.
Yeah.
And my mom came to pick me up the next day. And
Hmm.
anyways, so the other PTSD symptom that came up was anytime in the fall when it was dark out. It started getting dark out, the light, like just having a flashlight or something, like running around like this, it started like got really
Mm.
scared also.
Okay.
Anywho, so I ended up like doing what I probably should have done before all of this happened, which would have been quit the job because it
Mm.
talked to the doctor already beforehand. The doctor was like the like you can go on antidepressants and this and that, and I didn't want to go on to any of that. I just knew it was stress, and I knew I wasn't taking care of myself, and I knew the work was too much, and I knew all the things, and yet I still did it, right? Kept doing it, and then there was other panic attacks where I was in the bush and by myself and I panicked, or driving my a truck and I panicked, and someone else had to drive, luckily, or I had to like leave the truck in the Pine Passing, hitchhike back to town. I did that too.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
so anyways, it was very, very scary situation at that time. Now I realize it was my divine timing. It was
Mm.
my divine timing. The universe was like, "You're not listening. We've asked you to stop. You're not listening." I even applied for a job and I turned it down. The universe was like, "You are not listening. Therefore, we're going to make you listen by forcing you to give it up because you're not listening." And even my mom, like, and when I did quit, I was at my parents' place the weekend and I said, "I'm going to quit now." And they're like, "Yeah, right. You've said that before." And then I got
Mm.
really angry because a coworker asked me a stupid question about work and out on the weekend. And I was like, "Arr!" And then I'm like, why am I taking this out of my parents? And then I was like, that's it. I'm writing the letter now. And I wrote the letter. And then I talked to my boss and he was shocked and I gave it to him. And I was like, I can't continue. This doesn't, is not working anymore. So
Yeah.
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 So that's
Yeah.
kind of how I started like on the journey towards more healing. Ended up going, um, I did hired a life coach to help me a bit. I saw a
Mhm.
counselor at the same time, and I did like physio and Reiki and yoga, and I did a whole bunch of stuff in that. It was like, I don't want to say December 2018 to January
Mhm.
2019 timeframe. And
Mhm.
then I decided, you know what? I like walking in the woods and checking out stuff in the woods by myself without having to manage a whole bunch of people. So
Mhm.
maybe it's the time now for me to just have my own business and do that. So then I was working as a subcontractor for a bit. And that
Mm.
year was like amazing. I had so much renewal energy from that experience. I took Reiki with you, Maria, and
Right.
yeah, it was really good. The Reiki really cleared out a lot of like stuff that I was holding
Mhm.
on to. The Reiki level two was a lot of like self-confidence issues that came
Mhm.
up. I was like, boy, oh boy. Um, and then and then I just really in went back and worked for a company full time for a couple of years in more operations and whatnot, but I felt so much more support from the company. And like gave me
Mhm.
a truck and they gave me this, and I was like, oh my God. And there's people in Mackenzie, like a whole shop that can support me on like if I need
Nice.
something. So I didn't have to always like rely on
Mhm.
Prince George or wherever else, and they weren't that reliable. So
Mhm.
it was like, wow, I'm not by myself anymore. I'm not a silo. I'm like, there's a team here. Yay. And they were excited to have me on their team. So it was an amazing experience. And then in 20, yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, 2020, in the November timeframe, I went for level three with you for the Reiki. And
Mhm.
we did some Reiki level three stuff, but you blew my mind. about the deep rabbit hole of what was going on with COVID and everything else. And I was like, what the heck am I doing? And then you had mentioned theta healing, that you knew all this for theta healing. And I was like, theta healing, I got to do this. I got to do theta healing. And I just signed up for your basic class in January 2021, I believe. And never looked back. Took courses like a mad person because I just wanted the next level, the next level, next level, next level. And I realized that was me pushing, but it was also to get myself back on my divine timing path as well.
Yeah.
Last June and May, I went twice to Montana to do instructor classes, and it was a big push for me to go. That I had to go again. I was like, okay, I'm going again.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty amazing. And I'm here now. And yeah. And
And doing amazing. Way less panic attacks, living your
no,
dream
no
being a
more.
theta healer, no more panic attacks.
Yeah.
Being
I realize now the panic attacks, well, at that time it was energy coming down from the earth coming into my body. And I've experienced that before or after since then. In the Chunnaman area, which is north of town here, about 3 hours. And I was just driving, and all of a sudden, all this energy is coming down. And it was stuck in my heart, and I was like, my heart was starting to really hurt, and I started to like almost go into panic again. And I just heard, no, calm down. This is just energy coming through, which is clearing something here. So the energy was coming from a crater coming into the earth, and it was clearing
Mhm.
that ley line grid area in that one location through me. I drove down that road like more than like a lot of times, right? And now
Yeah.
every time I go through that area, I feel it. And it just feels like so
Mhm.
supercharged. It's amazing. But I was like so happy afterwards. I just like pulled over and allowed the energy to flow through without like resisting it. And it was like
Mhm.
peaceful. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. So you spoke a little bit before we kind of hit record about the divine timing of the earth and kind of your part in that. So can you tell me a little bit more about what you feel the divine timing of the earth is and your part in that?
Well, the earth is evolving into that five-dimensional consciousness of connectivity, unity, peace, love, community. And the earth is there. Like I felt that shift in, I don't know, January, December, where I just felt like, oh, I'm in the 5D now. Yay. But there are people, some people aren't, some people are higher, some people are lower, but it doesn't matter where you are in the whole spectrum of things. Just know that you're in the place where you're supposed to be at this time. So the divine timing of the earth is now, like for me, now is the time, like for me to speak, for me to be more authentic, for me to express myself. For me, I'm getting for me to connect my forestry, my teaching, my healing, and the community together into like one path, into one way of being, that I'm not turning my back on forestry. Like people are like, "Oh, you're no
Mhm.
longer in forestry." Well, I'm not turning my back on forestry. I'm still a RPF, but
Mhm.
I'm bringing in like more of the holistic. The why can't we like maybe thank the forest before we
Mhm.
like or ask the forest which trees are ready to be going and which trees should we keep? Because really, the mother trees, the grandfather trees, the father trees all have important roles in the forest. And we're seeing that across BC, the impact of these trees being released, taken away, and then the younger trees no longer be having that resilience, that resistance, because all that information was lost in the mother tree and the father tree. The mother tree
Yeah.
was having that nurturing, that knowing which trees need what and bringing extra sugars to them, as well as the father
Mhm.
tree doing that protection. But
Mhm.
sometimes the mother tree and father tree are now kilometers and kilometers and kilometers away.
Yeah.
So they're losing that resilience. And the fires are, yeah, there's going to be fires because we've been controlling fires for way too long and thinking that that helps us. But in the long run, now we see that the fires would have been helpful because fires are regenerating. And a small
Mhm.
fire is way more regenerating than a huge connecting us together. And how can they find me if I don't speak up?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you meet some of these people in the ecology program that you
Um,
did an ecology program a while ago?
yeah, so I'm running a school ecology program right now. I'm program coordinator for that. And I there are really lots of young souls that are really interested in like nature, in connection, in connectivity with each other. Yeah, and they get really excited, and I get really excited too when I hear them giggling and laughing in the forest because you don't really hear that in classrooms very often. Like, or you
Mhm.
do, maybe in the younger ones you do, but not so much in the grade 7 and 8 range. And the grade eights were just laughing, giggling like little like kids, and it was amazing. They like,
Yeah.
oh, I got to jump in the sand pit, and nobody got upset, and I lost my shoes, and my friends had to pull me out. It was fun. I was like, great. Um, when I was working still up north, I actually did a tour with some people from a local mill, Woodlands, or they were summer students, and I showed them like how the ribbon was hung not in such a good spot, and how I changed it. But then I also talked to them about the spirituality aspect a little bit, and I got them like it just something channeled through to them. And I was like, wow, I love that. And they were so like, wow, this is amazing. This is why we're in forestry. We want to like shift the industry. It's not that we don't want to stop logging. That's not the intention here. The intention is to do it with mindfulness, to do it with intention, asking for permission, thanking for what we've
Mhm.
got. This is more of the indigenous way of
Mhm.
reciprocity is we can still log, we can still do all those things, but we need to ask for permission. We need to get permission.
Mhm.
We need to move forward with like that connection yeah, that oneness because we are all one. When I had my spiritual awakening, I was in the forest in Jasper and there was so much light that came through me and I was like just hiking. It was like August 8th. I don't know what year it was anymore, but it was the Lionsgate portal time frame. And all of a sudden I felt so much love and light, and then I just felt that the trees were my brothers and sisters. And I'm like, well,
Mhm.
if they're my brothers and sisters, why am I cutting them? Like, why am we like, because I was hanging ribbon to cut them down. Like, that's pretty,
Mhm.
like, telling which
Right.
trees will log and which trees aren't. That's pretty, like, holy moly, to go from that to where I am now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I also like, then I also worked for a logging company where they actually logged the trees down so I could see the whole process of the logging. And oh my gosh. Um, because I really enjoy just walking in the forest and looking at like the forest that's there. And sometimes stuff is moving that there's nothing around. You're like, what is going on here? There's something there, but I don't see it. Um, and like getting guidance from spirit or creator. Like one of the times was I heard the word stop and then I stopped and then I was like, okay, should I go? Nope, just wait. Okay. So I stood there for 5 minutes in the forest and then I heard the word go. And then I was like, okay, now you got to tell me what happened. And there was something crossing your path ahead. And if you were going to go through, you were going to get either smacked by a tree or hit, like, cross some kind of
Yeah.
animal.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's probably good that I stopped then. Didn't run into
Yes.
anything during the
Yeah.
days. It was good. So we all have intuition. We're all connected. We all just need,
Mhm.
that's why I wanted to bring in more of these workshops, these courses, it
Mhm.
could be online, in person, and just
Mhm.
to remind people that we all have that connection to Creator. The children already know that they have that connection. When you were born, all the way till about 6 or 7, you're in a theta brainwave, and that's the brainwave that we go into when we do theta healing, and that's the theta brainwave. And It's an immediate connection to the creator. So they're always connected. They already get guidance from the creator. So when you say that fairies aren't real to them, they're just like, but I just seen one. What
Hmm.
do you mean they're not real? And you say Santa
Exactly.
Claus is real, they're like, what? I've never seen that. That doesn't sound real.
That's right. That's right. It's
Or
confusing for them.
Easter Bunny is real and the fairies aren't, but what? So,
Yeah.
or the yeah, the ghosts or the ghosts, sorry, the monsters in their closet. Yeah, those
Right.
are actually like spirits that haven't passed that are in their closet. And it's
And
mhm.
teach them how to clear them so
And
they
teach
feel
them.
empowered,
Yeah.
right?
And theta healing, we can do that. We can teach them how to get rid of those things so that they feel
Mhm.
like more able to move forward in their life, like Maria just said. Um, and versus hiding it or telling them it's not real because it is very real. Just because you
Mhm.
can't see something doesn't mean it's not real.
Mhm.
Otherwise, our spirituality wouldn't be real because you couldn't see it. You have to have that faith, that belief that it's there. But then at one point, you have this knowing that it's there. You just, as
Mhm.
you're connecting to Creator, as you get the guidance from Creator, you just know instead of
Well,
just,
that never made sense to me, right? Like we can't see the air,
mm-hmm,
but we can see the effects of the air
mm-hmm,
moving, right? So it's the same idea. Seeing isn't always believing that
mm-hmm,
something exists, right?
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
The the most coolest thing that I've ever seen in the forest, or one of the coolest things I've actually seen in the forest, is there was a ring, a circular ring that was yellow on the moss, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" Like, it's so weird for it to be there like that. And Maria asked
Mhm.
me to ask Crater about it. So I did, and Crater showed me this little fairy that was a young little fairy, didn't really know what it was doing. It was trying to like help the plants, but then it ended up going in a circle and hurting them. It like burnt it. It burned a little
Oops.
circle into the moss. I was like, ooh,
That's
oopsie.
how we all learn our power.
I was like, oh, that's so cute.
So that is so fun. Now, did you want to lead us and have everyone connect with the
Mhm.
creator of all that is?
Yes, yes, let's do
Yeah.
that here.
Okay.
So just closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in, blowing it out, bringing the energy down into the earth, going deep into the earth, into the crystalline core of the earth, feeling that connection at oneness with the earth, bringing up the energy, feeling that connection to every root, every plant, every tree, being connected, feeling as one, bringing the energy up through the bottom of your feet, through your knees, through your hips, through your pelvis, through your heart, throat, to the head, the top of, to your head. Seeing a beautiful ball of light at the top of the head, noting the color, placing your consciousness into this ball of light, knowing that you are safe, going up through the universe, through the Milky Way, through layers of light and dark and light and dark and light and dark. Keep going up through a bright light, through layers of jelly-like substance, different colors, shapes, and sizes, and keep going up into that tingly, tingly white light of creator, higher and higher, dissolving that ball, becoming as one, feeling one with that creator, with the creator, and knowing that you're still grounded on this earth, feeling one connected from above as well as below, feeling the below energy as that you are connected from the creator all around you, creators within you all around you, which is like a download of unconditional love, compassion, kindness, grounding, and the ability to move forward in your divine timing and be able to trust your divine timing. If so, say yes.
Yes, and downloads are just bringing in that inspiration into your body, into your cells, if you would like it,
Say
on what those feelings feel like. So if you say yes, we witness that energy from Creator coming into you. Thank you, Cornelia.
We'll see if there's anything else. Compassion. Knowing that you have compassion for yourself, that you can have compassion for yourself, that it's safe for you to have compassion for yourself, and that you have Creator's truth and understanding of compassion and the definition of compassion from the Creator. Would you like this as well? If so, say yes. And then just feeling that connection, expanding outwards, connecting to the plants, connecting into the earth that we're still connected to, connected into the forest, into the animals. Just allow those beings to be connected to you through the Creator. Just feeling that oneness connection. Asking, sensing in your body. What is coming up for you now? Anywhere in your body you're feeling tension or tightness or a weird uncomfortable feeling, sending your attention to this location, taking a deep breath in and sending that to that location. Taking your hand, placing it wherever on the body that you feel tightness, and just watching your breath go to that area in your body. Feel like any of the trauma, emotions, or the trauma cleared here, just say yes, and we'll do that. And then taking your attention and continuing to breathe, perhaps seeing if there's another location on your body that requires a little bit of massage or a little bit of love from you. And if so, placing your hand there. And bringing your breath there. Breathing into this area. If you'd like to release the trauma, say yes, and we'll do that.
Yeah.
If you're a theta healer, perhaps you have other downloads you'd like to place in this area, so go ahead. If you're not, then you're getting words like compassion, kindness. You can just mentally say compassion and kindness while you rub that location. And then taking your breath perhaps into another location that's tight in the body. And placing your hand there. Inhaling and exhaling into this area. Any trauma that wants to be released, just say yes and we'll release it. Any downloads you'd like to add? Go ahead. I have a download coming through here as well. Downloading that you're loved unconditionally by the Creator, that you've always been loved, that you're supported, that you're whole, that you're complete by the Creator without being alone, and that without being separate, and that it's safe for you to allow this unconditional love of the Creator to come in through you, to you, from the Creator. If you'd like this download, say yes. I'm just getting a channeled message coming through in light language, so I'm just going to share it with everyone. Light language is the language of the Creator. It's there's different languages, and the language I'm getting, or the healing I'm getting through, is to help you with your healing. Amadeya, Amalaleya, Amazaheya, Amalaleya, Amazamaniya, Amalaliya, Amazameya, Maya, Maya, Amalai, Amaya, Azamai, Adamadi, Maya, Maria, Maya, Madi, Dadamazi, Maika, Maya, Almade, Mai, Maria, Maria, Arimadi. Are magi maria gaya. Taking a deep breath in, allowing the healing to come through you. Feeling the roots to the earth. Feeling that connection all around you. Taking a deep breath, thanking the Creator, or asking for any clarity on anything that you encountered. Thank you, Creator, for this day. Thank you, Creator, for our bodies, for our health, that we may be able to go forward in our divine timing path with the Earth's divine timing, in alignment with her divine timing, and all the souls that we are meant to help their divine timing. Thank you, Creator. Aho. Namaste. Amen. And you can just bring yourself back into your body and opening your eyes. We call this an energy break, when you rub your hands together and then you just bring your hand up from the bottom of your pelvis and all the way up. It just clears any energy that you may have held onto from me or from Maria, and it just zips you up again so that your energy is whole and complete.
Thank you, Cornelia. That felt lovely. That felt lovely. So I'm curious about a few more questions before we open it up for any questions from people. What could you tell me, first of all, just in case there's somebody new to Theta Healing and they don't know anything about it, could you tell me kind of how Theta Healing got started?
Mm-hmm.
And then also what you use Theta Healing for in your own life?
Mm-hmm. So Theta Healing got started through Vianna Stibal, who brought the modality into the earth plane. She always had a connection with the Creator, or with God, and God and Creator are the same. Anyways, and she had this reoccurring pain in her right leg that kept coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. And it got worse after she worked at a nuclear power plant as a security guard. And then she asked God what was going on, and God said, "You have mercury poisoning. You need to get the mercury out of your system." And then she went to the doctors, and they said that they thought she had bone cancer. And she didn't feel that that was the correct diagnosis because God had told her it was mercury poisoning, but she went in to get a bone biopsy anyways done, and they like drilled into her hip, and they took out material that was like, well, that's weird. That's not bone cancer, but that's not good either. And then they told her not to walk on it. She didn't have insurance because she was in the US, and but so she couldn't stay at the hospital, so she did hobble out, and they said if you break it, then that's it. But don't worry, you're probably going to die in 3 months anyways. And they also said, oh, you're going to amputate, but if you don't, then that's okay. You're going to die in 3 months anyways. And she's just like, what? And she asked God, what is going on here? And God's like, you already know how to do this. You already know how to heal yourself. And she's just like, you know, as we go up in the ups and downs of life, she went into poor me, poor me, poor me. What is going on? Poor me. And then at this point, she was already doing intuitive readings with people where she would like go into their space and scan them and see what's going on in their bodies and whatnot. And she just knew this practice from God. She just knew, right? From it's an all-knowing practice that she knew. And she ended up at one point, she was like, oh, she had her aunt, I think, had had stomach pains, and at that point she didn't bring all her herbs with her because she was a naturopath as well. And so she just did her scan that she usually did, and then she looked and she's like, oh, that doesn't look good, and asked Creator to fix this or change this, and this Creator just changed it, and the person walked away, and she was like, that was really easy, huh? And she did something similar to someone else who had back pain. She was just in so much pain trying to do massage on this person, and she's just like, "Can I just ask God to help you with this?" And she just asked God to clear this, and then his back pain went away and didn't come back. And she was just like,
Wow.
"Wow!" And then she decided, "Oh, if I can do this for everybody, I will do it for me too." And so she
Okay.
did, and it went away just like that, gone. But what
What
I did,
what went away? The cancer or
yeah,
the what what was
I was, yeah, it went away was that the swollenness of her leg went away, her foot went back to size, and yes, the cancer went away. But she also had done a lot of cleanses beforehand to release a lot of the mercury and whatnot. So it was like the mercury was able to be released. The I think it was lymphedemic cancer is, I'm not saying it right, I know that, but
lymphatic.
lymphatic
Okay.
cancer, yes,
Okay.
that went away in her leg, and it just like went back to normal. But then, as you're going along, you're thinking, wait a minute, it's going to come back. So you're like, double checking and triple checking and quadruply checking and this and that. So
Did it take a long time for that healing? Like how did that happen for her?
instantaneous.
Instantaneous.
Yes,
Wow.
instantaneous. It was really fast. Once she had committed to doing it and witnessing it, what you have to be the witness. You have to witness the Creator doing it, and then you can observe it happening. If you stop halfway through the witnessing, then it doesn't happen. So the main thing with theta healing is that it's not a religion. It's not a cult or a scam. Some people might believe that, but it's like a philosophy. It's a way of being, a way of doing. And many people who are drawn to theta healing have already know this practice from before. This is a remembering of theta healing, a remembering of what they've done before in other times and other places. So what she also found was that some people, when she was doing this instant healing practice, some people they didn't heal, or they healed kind of sort of, but it came back, or they they didn't want to heal at all. And she asked Creator, and Creator's like, this person wants to die, or this person wants to has these beliefs. And she thought, oh well, this person has these beliefs, I can't do anything about it, and send them home. And then at one point she somehow she realized, oh wait a minute, I don't remember the whole story anymore, but she was able to ask the Creator about a belief, and Creator's like, just change the belief. Oh, okay. And then change
Okay.
the belief, putting in a new belief that's better serving the person, and then you download new feelings like what we just did, or you download feelings to help the person to reestablish the new belief and hold a new belief in place. So theta healing can change if you want quick, fast work that helps your body, mind, spirit, emotional body. That theta healing is for you. If you would like a slow, drawn out method, maybe theta healing isn't for you. If you would like to, yeah. So
Great.
if you, yeah, so it's can be really quick. So when you go into a theta healing session with a theta healing practitioner, they are going to see things that you're like, there's no way you can see this. How do you even know this about me? But it's not them. They're working through the Creator. Creator sees all, knows all, hears all, feels all. So the practitioner just is the vessel, the facilitator between you, me, and the Creator, or the
Mhm.
Creator, me, and you. And then so if the Creator is here, I'm just speaking to the Creator, getting answers for you. Then you speak to me and kind of helping you connect, to helping you get that connection to the Creator, because everybody has it. We just have a lot of blocks, programming, other things that are keeping us down in vibration. The food we eat keeps us down in vibration as well. And our habits keep us down in vibration. And that keeps us from connecting with the Creator. If we're stuck in fear, resentment, rejection, regret, revenge, there's a whole bunch more, that blocks you from going up to that higher, that Creator of all that is energy. And sometimes working with a theta healer helps you to be clear that faster as well.
Mhm. Wow, it sounds miraculous. So what do you use theta healing for in your life?
I use data healing. I bless my car, so it keeps it going. It's at like 306, 306, 350, some 55,000 kilometers. I also bless that my car, like as I drive, that other vehicles stay away, that the animals stay off the road, that my vehicle stays on the road and going forward. And actually I've had some really good success where like I never saw the moose, but the moose was just standing there on the shoulder looking at me.
Wow.
I was like, stop. And it just stayed there and then passed behind me. Same as when actually
Okay.
my mom was driving, I blessed her pickup too. And the deer was like, she never saw the deer. I said, there's a deer. Dad's like, you didn't see the deer. And I just told the deer to stay. And the deer just stayed there.
Yeah. Because you're connected to everything through the creator. So yeah, cool.
Yeah. I'll
And
see.
then you do belief work on yourself quite regularly, shifting your beliefs, doing healings on yourself as well.
Yes, yes, and I also use other like techniques like sometimes to help. There's one that Vianna teaches called the heart song, and you just go into like different parts of your body, releasing the sorrow and the sadness from your heart, from your throat, from your body, and it's pretty amazing because all of a sudden you just feel this energy moving around in your body and you're like, oh, there it goes. And then after heart song, that's usually when it's a good time to do belief work because it stirred something up. And then I'm like, oh, I'm ready to do belief work now. Or sometimes just to go
So
into nature and to connect to a tree and allow the tree to do a healing. And then I do a healing. I like to do that as well.
yeah. So people can learn to do theta healing on themselves as well, not just rely on a practitioner for theta healing. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
And you teach those classes too.
Yes, I teach those classes as well, and I'm also
Awesome.
like going on the road a little bit. Well, I'm going on the road. That's my plan is to go on the road and to go to different places to do workshops, courses, and getting people more connected to their nature that's around them where they are. Doing online as well, but I'm really getting the push to do a lot more outdoor stuff with people.
Oh, cool. That sounds awesome. So, how has theta healing inspired you?
I basically, theta healing has become a way of being. I connect with Creator every day. I
Yeah.
connect and figure out what is my goal for the day, what am I the best use of my time for the day, what am I to accomplish in the day.
Mhm.
And I just go through and ask Creator throughout the day, is this the right decision? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Of course, sometimes, like as we're human, we forget, have
Yeah.
other things come up and get a little bit over, zealous about something. And then I get dialed back and be like, you just calm. Oh, okay, down. Okay, good. We don't need to be that overzealous. And so creative, it's just a way of being, a way of becoming, and it doesn't really, you don't you don't need to blow up your entire life to do theta healing,
Mhm.
unless well, you're slowly guided through the creator to the divine timing path you set out for yourself. So it's not like blow up a bomb and throw everything up. It's really gradual, really gentle if you allow the universe to push you. If you're pushing against the universe and fighting the whole time, like I did with my panic attacks, then it feels
Yeah.
like it's a big blow up.
Then it does. Yeah, yeah,
But it's
yeah.
your choice what you decide to do.
Yeah. It's easier when we listen to guidance the first few times, right? Rather than kicking and screaming. But
Yeah.
that's okay. We get there eventually. I think Vianna even has stories about kicking and screaming with her divine timing. So I'm curious what you've created in your life because of all of the work and the belief work you've done on yourself with Theta Healing. What have you created?
I've created that, I've taught many different people now,
Mhm.
all over Canada, some in the US, and even in like India, and even in Europe, and people around, I guess I could say
Okay.
people around the world, honestly.
Yeah.
I've I'm doing some nature there data and nature experiences online with people from China with Chinese translation. Those are pretty
Oh, cool.
fun.
Yeah.
And I've yeah, I've just created I've realized I really wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to work with children. I wanted to work with more like animals and with the way I was working in operational logging, there was no chance of working with teaching children or doing
Okay.
more teaching. Just to really
Mhm.
like, I want to help the younger generation that's coming through the school system, because the schools
Mhm.
are still kind of still set way back in like in trying to get the kids to be able to be good laborers and good industrial workers and hard workers. And I don't know. I'm working as a sub right now, and I'm like, can't, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't rock the boat.
Well, the old system that we've built around these institutions, as we move into higher frequencies, they will need to kind of shift because the children coming in will kind of make them have to, right? But
And the
yeah,
kids
that's
do that a
super
lot.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What cool things have you discovered while doing theta healing?
I discovered that the that I have more and different ancestral background than I ever thought I had. I just had this
Mhm.
really interesting tie to the land, to nature, and a really deep connection to where I used to work to the indigenous people up there and to the land. And I
Mhm.
felt so at home, and I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" And then
Mhm.
in the IA course last year, one of the people that was digging on me, there was like, you ought to just ask your indigenous ancestry about this. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you have indigenous ancestry from North America. I'm like, I do. So I did a whole bunch of belief work on that. And yeah, it's
Wow.
there. 5 generations back, it's there. And that explains so much. And and then I'm like, well, now I don't have to worry about not belonging because I do.
Yeah, you are. It's in your blood. So that's wonderful. Yeah, our self-discovery is our biggest, amazing thing that happens with theta healing.
Hmm.
So, what was the first big thing that you manifested that came true?
I would say the big first thing that manifested was, oh, there's two now, but the big first one was like doing all those really high like courses down in Montana. I did IA, intuitive anatomy, and it is quite expensive. I don't, well,
Well, it's 3 weeks of
it's
training,
3 weeks of
right?
training.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
it's expensive, but it's not expensive for what you get. It's worth it, 100% worth it.
100%.
And
Mhm.
then so I did IA, but I also did something else while I was there. Oh, don't remember right now. And then I went back to do,
You did you in the earth with me.
yes, IA and You and the Earth. Yes, that's it. And I went back for Rainbow Children. And I thought it was You and the Earth that time, but I don't know. There was another, oh, You and the Earth and Planes of Existence. That's what I went back for. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The building your intuition for children class. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, very cool. So, any other cool manifestations that came true?
Yeah. I've been manifesting a pickup for quite a while, and I was looking and looking and looking for the last year and a half, and I kept doubting myself and talking myself out of it and la 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 la. And then at one point I'm like, it'd be good to have a camper on it too, so I wouldn't have to like, I could like instead of sleeping on the ground, I could sleep there on in a
Yeah.
camper, right? And then I was like, okay, well then I'll add that to the manifesting. And then I like happened to be in April, I happened to be with March in Alberta, and I talked to my brother, and I'm like, brother, I won't say his name because it will be on YouTube. I'm looking for a pickup with a camper. And then he's
Yeah.
like, Kijiji. He loves Kijiji. And
Yeah.
he's like, there's one here in Edson and there's one here in GP. I was like, huh. And then we looked at the one in GP and made an offer and done.
Well, wow.
Yeah. And I'm paying
That's
him
awesome.
back now.
But now you manifested that without, you had to wait. Maybe Creator was having you wait and procrastinate because you had to realize you needed a camera.
Hmm. That makes sense. Yeah, it makes more sense. And it's like the pickup that was on my vision board. Like
Oh,
maybe not the same
cool. That's
year, well,
perfect.
not the same year, but it's like the same color and yeah. It's like,
Oh, wow.
wow, it's bang on.
Isn't that cool? That's so fun. It gives me chills, right? That's so fun.
Hmm.
What was the other offers that you are creating? You've got lots going on. I really would love to hear more about these theta nature experiences. Can you tell me more about those?
So the theta nature experiences that I'm doing are for anyone who's open, interested to learn more. It's a bit of what I was doing earlier in the theta healing that we just did, where I bring in the connection to the earth, connection to the nature around you. I bring in the light language came through. I bring in that as well, and I connect people. It's like slow. It's whatever creator tells me. Like there's a different theme each session, and creator just tells me do this. And a lot of times people don't give themselves permission to slow down. They don't give themselves permission to do what they love. They don't give themselves permission to rest. And that's what I found, that this allows maybe people just to give themselves permission, because I the feedback I've gotten from other people who've taken this class or workshop, they said that I fell asleep for 15 minutes before I was called back, or I laid on the ground and I just laid on the ground and I didn't feel guilty, or I
Whoa.
wandered around my house and I just, at first I thought I was doing something wrong, but then I just calmed down, or I did art with my daughter. Like they're just
Wow.
allowing them to really, and that's when you go into nature, it's a slowing down because the trees are not busy rushing around and doing all this. The squirrels are busy, don't listen to those guys. But the trees are like really calm and like, why are you going so fast? Slow down. Once we slow
Yeah.
down, then we can really connect into who we are, what we're meant to do, where we're meant to be going, and what we can be doing in our lives. If we're busy rushing around, going from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, then we block it. We block
Mhm.
that flow of the universe. The flow of the universe is coming through us just to show us.
Mhm.
Breathe and relax, then it can help us more fully. So when I do the nature experiences or the data nature experiences, I call them, it just allows people to be back connected into nature. And I'm also doing some spiritual tours with the same concept here, where I'm going to be taking people out into nature, into different areas. And we're like waterfalls. I'm being guided at waterfalls, some mountains, lakes,
Beautiful.
interesting rock features, and just really connecting and slowing down and being silent and meditating if they would like to, or just looking at the ground, or and just
Mhm.
allowing them to experience those emotions to come up, because that's where I feel the most emotions is in nature. Those emotions are coming up, and you can give yourself permission to feel them when there's like nobody else around, or
Mhm.
where there's other people around but they're supportive of you. That's a really good
Mhm.
way or place to do it. I'm being guided that I'm going to be doing women's retreats, spiritual like tours and retreats. And I'm seeing like where I'm doing like healing circles and little these walks, these times in nature, connections, and kind of just wherever I'm really guided to go. And people can reach out to me if they feel that this would be a good location, that they have a good retreat location, that they'd like me to do something there, then I'm welcome, or I will come. I've also done house clearings for people who are like building retreat places. And we
Mhm.
actually anchored in some really high energy into one of the places for a lady, a friend of mine in Alberta.
Mhm.
And, and
Mhm.
so, because she's going to be doing retreat locations too, I probably will be
Yeah.
doing one out there, so that'll be fun.
Be
And
fun.
what else? There's yeah, it's just a different way of going about things, and I'm still looking at some like to do more. People are interested in forestry still, so I can still do some type
Mhm.
of tour in forestry, but also giving them the spiritual end of things too, if they're open. Most people who are
Mhm.
there, they'll be open to it,
Mhm.
to do that and to see and then we can also do what I used to do was like driving up and down the roads and doing like land clearings, like I've told you about with the
Okay.
through the body. Um, to do it through the creator, we can do it together as a group, and in areas that we feel that need a little bit more, we can do more love land clearings there. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm really guided to do right now is just to hit the road. And the camper is really important for that because I can see five people in there. We can go different places. There's some places to sleep in the camper. We can do a tent setup as well. And
Mhm.
I like there's a trip I've got a couple trips in June in the Pine Pass, and then I've got one set up from the 19th to 25th in July from Calgary going to Banff to Radium to Nelson and kind of back kind of trip. But there's hot spring trips along the way, and there's like checking out some really cool waterfalls I know of that
Yeah.
may a tourist or another person may not find on their own. So it's just like finding those areas of high energy, and like I sense energy and lots of people do, and together like we just go to these locations, and it'll be a lot of fun. So
It will be fun. That sounds awesome. And is this all on your website? Like they can find this stuff on your website or?
not yet, because I'm working with my website designer to get that stuff
Oh,
on the website. So it's not quite
but
there yet,
soon.
but it will be
Okay.
soon, yes, because I'm working on how to do it the best way right now.
Right. Right. And the techie side and all those things.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds cool. Do you have any theta healing classes coming up?
Well,
And are you doing any other things like in Dawson Creek or?
Oh yes, yes, yes. So I am teaching Dig Deeper tomorrow and the day after, and then
Mm,
also Rhythm to a Healthy Body Weight May 1st. I'm also doing other courses, You and Creator, I think is coming up in May at some point, at the end of the May, and wanting to do some in-person courses that building intuition for children. I'm like
mhm,
looking at options of where I should be doing that and the best location for
mhm.
that this summer. Really wanting to do that class.
Yeah.
And in Dawson Creek, I'm going to be at Crossroads Expo, which is a life, body, and mind show from the 30th to June 1st. And you can go there and you can do have intuitive readings done, or people are doing psychic readings as well. Reiki. They're going to have a medium there in the evening to a medium show, so that's kind of fun. And I'm going to be offering intuitive readings
Okay, cool.
where I do the body scan through theta healing and figure like just give you what creator's guidance is for you, what
Yeah.
is going on for whatever you would like questions for, and also can connect you to any ancestors that are coming through, and you can talk to them about anything that's coming up, or if someone has recently passed, you can speak with them as well. So, yeah.
Beautiful. There's
Mhm.
great ways to connect with you. And are you thinking of future nature programs with kids? Like you talked about sort of that circle of community and teaching and forestry. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, tell me
Yes.
about that.
Yes, I have I'm doing some nature programming here in Mackenzie for the last week of July, the 28th to the 31st, in partnership with Mackenzie Community Arts Council. I've been working with them for a bit. They really want, like, when you do art, a lot of art is inspired by nature. So that's why
Mm,
they're really like wanting to bring more art focus into, because there's lots of nature here. Why we can't use more art and nature together. I'm also that ecology program. I'm also they're the administrator for it as well. That I partnered with them for it. So that program, the ecology program, is from K. Well, right now it's K to 10 with grade 9. We're looking at putting a module together for it right now, and
mm,
it's going like into right now in Mackenzie. It's been in Mackenzie for 11 years, and it's been really successful. And the idea is that the kids can go at least into the forest once a school year for a field trip.
mm,
So that basically it's a themed. So kindergarten is birds, for instance. Maybe grade 1 is ponds. So for the grade 1 field trip, we do a presentation. We speak to the class, and then I set up a big field trip ahead of time, like 6 to 8 weeks ahead of time, and then the kids
mm,
go out into the field trip, and I have different volunteers come who run different stations, and then the kids are on like a circle or a circuit that is timed like 15 minutes per station, so that they're learn something new as they go, right?
yeah.
And then we have a lot of times people donate like cookies or a hot chocolate or
Yeah.
iced tea and whatnot. And then we also have like little gifts that we give the volunteers as well. So this program has been running, and we're looking right now to upscale it, as in we are going to bring it online. We're going to take the modules, bring them online. I have some ideas on I'm working with some folks to have more of an indigenous lens on it as well, not just the Western
Mm,
ecology lens, but also the indigenous lens, and then also
perfect.
tie in some of the theta healing into the videos, or into one video that I create myself, and the teacher educator can decide whether they will play it for the children or not. It'll be their choice, but then it'll be on this platform that we've created
Hmm.
online, and the educators will be able to log in, and then, oh, I have a local coordinator here. Okay, call the local coordinator. I'd like a field trip in 2 months, please. Order it,
Mm,
and then they can like take the month or 2 months to include all the stuff from the module into their unit plan, into their lesson plans, and then they'll be able to know at the end of the day that they're going to have a field trip on whatever date they decide it with the local coordinator. In the meantime, the local coordinator is organizing the field trip for them. and getting the buses sorted. We'll make sure that there's like funds available for the buses and all that kind of stuff. And then when everything's said and done, it'll be good to go and they can go and do their field trip. So
That's awesome.
that's
Yeah.
where we're going with it. So we've already got, I can't say we've got more grants coming for to be doing this.
Hmm.
We have expanded into Hudson's Hope this year in the spring, and then in the fall, Chetwynd as well. And then we're going in either this spring or next fall into Fort St. James as well. And so we're going. So if you are an educator or a local person that really would like to be involved in this program, reach out to me because we're looking for local coordinators as well as any educators that would like this program brought to their schools. And we're going across like this is BC, Alberta. We want to take this program across.
That's awesome. Look at everything creators inspiring you to create. That is amazing. Do you have any, maybe tell people where to find you, how to get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me at 250-617-8135, or they can get a hold of me at Cornelia at corneliathomi.com. And my name is here at the bottom of the screen. Also,
Mm,
or www.corneliathomi.com.
mhm.
Texting is good. If you call, leave a message. Otherwise, I won't call you back.
Right. Good to know. Great to know. Now, you have been inspired to do this series. I know I was the first person you interviewed, and this is your interview, but do you have upcoming interviews happening or?
Yes, I'm interviewing another lady on May 17th. She from 7 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. It's in the evening because she's in Asian time, so it'll be her like noon-ish time the next day. Um, Her name is Maya Heiza, and she's a certificate of science instructor. Her experience in corporate strategy, leadership, and cross-cultural management allows her to help theta healing practitioners bridge spiritual growth with real-world success. So she has lived in many different places around the world and has gotten a global perspective to her work. And she believes that engaging with nature and creativity fosters deep healing and self-discovery. So she is super interesting. She does U and Earth classes in Taiwan that are like have kayaking and going to the beach and like connecting to the earth involved. It's like it sounds really fun. And I've seen some of her
That's
pictures and
awesome.
I'm like, wow, that looks great. Um,
Yeah,
Her name is Maya. I met her in the IA instructor class in Montana, and
cool.
she's really passionate about exploring like the mind body connection and expanding our human potential. And she's really like has a focus on working with theta healer practitioners that want to go to the next level, want to bridge their success that they've had in like the 3D world into the 5D, into the spiritual, to be able to be more successful. Because I found that as well, that I was like, as like in forestry in the 3D, I was very successful. And there was a bit of a bridging time to get me to where I am now. And to get to that same success level as I was in that 3D to the 5D. But I also hear from creators part of my divine timing when it will be, right? So it's not
Yeah.
about forcing it and being like, let's go. It's about allowing the push of the universe to get you there, to get you, put you the steps, the courses to take, the people to meet. The people have to be ready that you're going to help. If they're not ready, then you can push and shove all you want. They're just going to look at you going like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly. What is this crazy woman talking about? Well, this has been fun. I don't see any questions in the chat right now,
Mhm.
but shall we offer some downloads, or would you like to offer any more downloads before we kind of
Yeah,
close up and wrap up today?
sure. Let's do that. So it's just closing your eyes and just all knowing that you're already connected to Creator, and poof, look at that, we're already there.
Mhm.
You like a download that you are in the right place, that you are in the right time, and that your path is you're already here, that you're already on your path, and that it's safe for you to let go the reins, let go the control, let go the need to know what's going to happen next, and that it's safe for you to allow Creator to show you that you can trust and that it's safe and it's possible. Would you like this download? If so, say yes. Would you also like to know that it's safe for you to have joy and happiness and passion and love back in your life? It's safe for you to express this. And that's safe for you and it's possible for others to feel this through you, for you to be able to smile, for you to enjoy your day, for you to move forward in your life with peace and gratitude for all that you have and all that you're becoming. If so, say yes.
Yes.
And also downloading that it's safe as possible for you to rest, that you can rest, that it's your birthright to rest, and that you are able to treat yourself well and rest at the same time without guilt, without shame, without any of the resentment energy. Would you like this? If so, say yes. And then just, would you like a download of unconditional love? If so, say yes.
Mhm. Yes, please.
I'm just feeling that love coming through you, allowing you to be deeply connected, knowing that you're connected to the Creator above and below and all around you, and feeling this connection, going into the rest of your day with love and this compassion for yourself, and allowing Creator to guide you, allowing the universe, allowing God to guide you to how to move forward in your life, to how to express your emotions, how to take aligned action, and knowing that you're always loved. You've always have been loved, and you've always been held by the earth, by God, by Creator. Let's go into this day, into this week, being our authentic selves. So I want to thank you. You can open your eyes. I want to thank you for coming to this Let Theta Healing Inspire You series.
Mhm.
Thank you for the interview, Maria.
Thank
And
you.
I like to
It's
thank
fun.
everyone in the future who is coming. And feel free to reach out to us. The Remembering by Cornelia Thomi. There once was a large mother tree standing in the meadow. As a child, I encountered this tree. She invited me to sit at her base, where we conversed as old friends do. The love and compassion she showed me was opposite from how I felt about myself. The human world was so foreign. Little by little, I disconnected from her. I placed my heart behind an iron wall. My logical brain ruled me, safer to be the same than different. You see, it was all in my imagination to talk with trees. Otherwise, I was on course for the loony bin. Trees are its, not she or he, my brain agreed. My intuition had failed. My reality proved my brain right. Timber value was number one. Everything else was a waste. Otherwise, it's a mess. The pressure to control took the life out of me. My heart said no more. My brain said, just this one more job. The top of the ladder was reached. I was successful. Yet unhappy I was. I reached into my heart. What was I to do? For now I knew I had climbed the wrong ladder to the top. How did I get way over here? I sat down and had a long weep. The clearing rain grounded me. My rhythm slowed to match the earth. She held me as I began to love myself. Through unconditional love of Creator, I am part of all, and all is part of me. The trees are my brothers and sisters who love me dearly. Forgiving myself, opening my heart, I am loved by all my relations. Now I hold the light so that others may find their inner light. Now close your eyes, take a breath. What does your heart say to you? Say yes to the following downloads if you like from the Theta Healing Technique. Would you like to know that it is possible for you to forgive yourself, for you to forgive others, and for you to forgive society, community? If so, say yes. Would you like to know that it's possible for you to love yourself, to truly love yourself, to know Creator's definition and truth of loving yourself, and that it's possible for you to love yourself fully and completely and giving you the receptors to love yourself? If so, say yes. Would you like to know that it's possible for you to receive unconditional love from Creator and that it is safe and that you can and that it's your birthright to connect with the Creator and that you are complete and Creator is part of you and you are part of Creator and giving you the receptors knowing that you can have this unconditional love? If so, say yes. Now have a look to see what I have created when I listen to my heart. You can do the same too.
Walk slowly, touch their trunken leaves. I feel tree energy. They're my ancestors, here for centuries. telling me to just be me, to just be me. I hear birds and water sings along, calling me to life, into wonder and delight, wonder and delight. The forest is my sacred place. I'm filled with gratitude for your wisdom, your sweet embrace, and I come away renewed, come away renewed, and I come away